Nancy and Colleen met 37 years ago, and
we just started hanging out and love happened.
20 years later, they married in Canada.
And we actually got married in Canada because it wasn't legal in New York yet in 2005.
And we wanted to be married. We didn't want a civil union, and that was important to us.
After long careers in education, they opened a brewery called Garland City.
After all those years of teaching, did you need a beer?
Yeah, maybe. Or several.
Well, that kind of morphed into me retiring first and Colleen still working. And so I went to work at Bottle Caps and fell in love with the craft beer scene and how people got excited about finding a new beer and drinking a new beer. Because before then, before people understood craft, beer was kind of like a one note. It was a lager, a pilsner, maybe a stout. But with all these breweries opening up and people traveling to find breweries, that was kind of what our intention was, is to bring a brewery here to Watertown so people would enjoy Watertown and maybe travel to come here.
While they do love beer, for them it was about something much larger.
And I went to get financing. Well, we went to get financing, and you have to show that you can try to make this work, right? And I made this statement, not realizing what I said, but I said, our intentions is not to get rich. We want to enrich.
Bankers, I'm sure, love that.
Yeah.
But it's not like it wasn't about us. It was about enriching the community.
They worked hard to do, well, exactly that, and Pride was a natural fit.
Well, also our tagline is where craft meets community. So ever since we've opened, we have been open to serving the community through doing benefits and, just supporting whatever we can, as much as we can. And Pride was natural.
Their professional background serving as a foundation for the cause.
We're educators. I was a teacher, Colleen's a school psychologist. So we understood what was going on in schools for kids who are struggling, coming out or just accepting who they were. And between depression and suicide and just those horrible things that kids have to go through besides adolescence, we got to witness that. And we want to make it a better place.
The idea born right at their brewery.
And sharing a beer, and we had just opened, and we had talked about doing something for Pride, and we were definitely going to do something here, and then it morphed into this beautiful weekend.
A weekend that centered around fun events and celebrations, but also, at its heart, a flag raising at City Hall.
Let's talk about that first flag raising. You had this little speaker. I was getting texts from other people on your committee. Make sure people are there. We were kind of nervous nobody was going to show up. Then what happened?
Tears in my eyes. It was amazing, just amazing. I mean, you have 400, 500 people coming out. And it wasn't just, it was allies, people whose kids are gay or, their partner at work, is part of that community, and they wanted to celebrate with them. And then the number of kids who showed up.
Yeah.
What I kind of thought was funny too is, okay, so this first year, it's the first year, there's a ton of excitement around it, you're surprised, all these people. Well, then the second year, you're like, well, is that just because it was the first year? And it happened again and again and again.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a need. I mean, when you can raise money for the Q Center and for kids to have a better life every single day, that makes a difference.
A difference that they were willing to risk their paychecks for.
Kind of a risk as a business owner in a small town, though. Were you guys nervous about that, and how was the reception?
Wickedly nervous, but you have to take chances in life, and you have to be true to yourself. And that was more important to us than the dollars and cents.
Yeah, that first year was a little scary, but the response was overwhelming because people just were fine with it for the most part. Yeah. We had our little things, but mostly it was embraced by everybody, downtown people. It just...
Well, that's another thing too. So once you start something, you never know the trickle down, and all the other business owners, whether they're straight or gay, were a part of it in a celebration. And I think that is what makes Watertown a beautiful city, is that we can have our differences, but certain times of the year we can all come together.
If you missed out on Watertown Pride this past weekend, don't worry. The celebrations continue this weekend.
And we were sitting together one night at the Wood Boat, and we were saying, wouldn't it be cool? I mean, Watertown's doing a pride now.
Maybe we should do
Lewis
a
County's
pride.
doing a pride now. Maybe we should do a pride.
More on that after the break. And later, Pride in the Animal Kingdom at the Rosman Gifford Zoo.
Can birds or penguins, I mean, can they really be in love or have feelings or that sort of thing?
Stay with us.